Queen Eliza looked over the colony from the high tower. The walls were strong, but the enemy was stronger. She could hear the distant roar of war machines approaching. She clenched her fists and called out to her captain Luke. "We have to prepare the defenses," she said. "Every person must fight. Every hand counts. The colony is all we have." Luke nodded. He ran to the training grounds where Anna and Ben were coordinating the militia. The humans were tired and scared, but determination burned in their eyes. They had faced raids before, but nothing like this. The enemy was fast, smart, and relentless. Anna checked the weapons and shouted orders. Ben led the scouts on patrol outside the walls. They reported the enemy movements and looked for weak spots in the approaching army. Queen Eliza paced the tower thinking. They were losing hope, and hope was all they had left. She knew the colony would not survive long without help. At night, Queen Eliza called for the signal to be sent. A huge beacon of light rose from the colony, reaching into space. It was a plea to the stars, a call for anyone who could help. People watched in silence. Some prayed. Some whispered stories of old Earth creatures that once roamed freely and fought for survival. The stories were old, but the memory gave them courage. Maybe, just maybe, the creatures could come again. Hours passed, and the enemy closed in. Walls shook from distant explosions. Human defenders fired back with all they had. Luke led small squads to repair damaged barricades, while avoiding enemy patrols. Anna moved between groups, fixing weapons and helping the wounded. Ben guided people through hidden tunnels to safety when attacks became too close. The colony felt small and fragile under the dark sky filled with enemy ships. Queen Eliza could see the fear in her people. She turned to them and said, "We will not fall. Humans never fall. We fight. We survive. We will hold this place no matter what comes." Then it happened. The first lights appeared in the sky. They were not like any ships the humans had seen. They moved fast and silently, landing near the colony walls. Giant shadows loomed and people froze in shock. From the shadows came creatures. They were enormous and powerful. Their eyes glowed with intelligence. Humans rode on their backs, armed and ready. These were not aliens. These were humans trained to survive in the harshest conditions and bonded with the creatures of Earth. Queen Eliza ran to the wall to see the creatures closer. Luke, Anna, and Ben followed. People gasped as the creatures roared and stomped the ground. The enemy paused, unsure of what had arrived. The creatures were massive, but their riders moved with speed and strategy. They were organized, coordinated, and loyal to the humans of the colony. Queen Eliza raised her hand. The creatures seemed to respond to her command instinctively. Hope spread across the colony. Humans whispered to each other, amazed and relieved. The impossible had come. The plea to the stars had been answered. Luke looked at Anna and said, "They are here to fight with us. We are not alone anymore." Ben added, "This changes everything. The humans on these creatures are like warriors from old stories, unstoppable and fierce." The colony now had a chance to survive. Queen Eliza smiled. The battle was not over, but the tide had changed. Humans and their creatures would face the enemy together. The stars had heard their plea and sent humanity's creatures to protect them. The colony would fight, and this time they had power beyond anything they had imagined. The next morning, the colony woke to the sounds of movement outside the walls. Queen Eliza and Captain Luke climbed the tower to see the creatures and their human riders preparing for battle. The creatures were enormous and powerful, covered in armor and ready to fight. The humans on their backs checked weapons and gave commands. Anna ran beside Luke, her eyes wide with amazement. These creatures were unlike anything they had imagined. They moved fast, their claws digging into the ground as they roared. The humans riding them shouted orders and signals. The colony felt hope for the first time in weeks. Queen Eliza called the council. "We will send squads with the creatures," she said. "This is our chance to strike first. We cannot wait for the enemy to destroy us." Council agreed, and preparations began. Luke led a group to join the riders. Anna and Ben followed another. They moved carefully, learning to communicate with the creatures. The beasts responded to voice, movement, and even thought in ways humans could barely understand. Each human and creature pair became a single fighting unit. The enemy approached, their war machines stomping across the ground. They did not expect such massive creatures. The humans with the beasts launched a sudden attack. The creatures tore through enemy lines, using strength and speed to break machines and crush soldiers. Humans on their backs fired weapons and gave commands, coordinating attacks. Luke swung from the back of his creature, striking enemy fighters and protecting the riders. Anna fixed damaged weapons while moving on her creature, helping anyone who was injured. Ben scouted ahead, finding weak points in the enemy's formation. The creatures seemed unstoppable. Their roars echoed across the battlefield, shaking the enemy's confidence. Humans shouted and fought alongside the beasts, their fear replaced by courage. The colony watched from the walls, cheering as the creatures turned the tide. Queen Elisa noticed a small group of enemy soldiers trying to flank the colony. She sent Luke and his creature to intercept. The battle was fierce, but the humans and creatures worked together perfectly. Luke's creature knocked enemy machines aside while he leaped from its back to disable their weapons. The soldiers were thrown into chaos and fled. Anna and Ben returned to the colony to help with repairs and tend to the wounded. The creatures stayed outside, guarding the walls and keeping the enemy at bay. People whispered about how the humans with the creatures moved as one, striking with precision and never stopping. Queen Eliza climbed the tower again, looking at the battlefield. She saw humans and creatures fighting as if they were made for each other. The enemy was strong, but they had never seen humans and creatures like this. The day ended with the enemy retreating for the night. The colony had survived the first battle with help from the creatures. Humans walked among the wounded, comforting them. Luke and Anna stood beside Queen Eliza, watching the creatures rest and breathe heavily after the fight. Queen Eliza spoke softly, "We have hope now. The creatures are more than power. They are our protectors. Humans and their creatures will fight together, and nothing will break this bond. The stars heard our plea, and now we are ready to survive and win." The colony had a chance they never thought possible, and with each passing moment, their courage grew. Queen Eliza called for a new mission. "We must strike at the enemy's main base," she said. Luke, Anna, and Ben were chosen to lead the squads with the creatures. The humans gathered, ready for the dangerous journey ahead. They rode out at dawn. The creatures moved fast, their massive feet crushing rocks and earth. The humans on their backs kept watch, scanning for traps. Luke shouted commands, and his creature obeyed instantly. The bond between rider and beast was perfect. Anna checked weapons and made small repairs while moving on her creature. Ben scouted ahead, warning the group of enemy patrols. The humans and creatures communicated silently, understanding each other through gestures and sound. They reached the enemy's base. Humans crouched, planning the attack. The creatures stayed hidden, their size making them almost invisible behind the hills. Queen Eliza's voice came through the communicator. "Strike together and fast. Do not wait." The attack began. Creatures charged, breaking the enemy's walls. Humans on their backs fired weapons and leaped from the creatures to disable machines. The enemy panicked. Their soldiers were strong, but the humans and creatures were stronger. Luke fought fiercely, his creature smashing enemy vehicles while he attacked the soldiers. Anna moved between groups, fixing weapons and helping the injured. Ben led a group to take down a critical supply line. Each strike was precise and deadly. The creatures used their intelligence to trap the enemy. They blocked escape routes and crushed reinforcements. Humans directed the creatures with skill, never wasting effort. Together they moved like a single force, unstoppable and fast. Inside the base, the humans found enemy leaders. Luke faced the commander, a tall and dangerous man. They fought hand to hand, using strength and strategy. Luke's creature helped, slamming the enemy machines and creating space for Luke. Finally, the commander fell, defeated by human skill and the creature's power. Anna discovered a hidden room filled with weapons and supplies. She sent messages to Queen Elisa reporting the discovery. The base could now be used to defend the colony and repair damages. Ben secured the perimeter, ensuring no enemy soldiers escaped. The victory was hard-fought. Humans and creatures were tired but alive. The enemy had learned not to underestimate the humans with their creatures. The bond between humans and beasts was growing stronger with every battle. Queen Eliza congratulated the squads over the communicator. "You did well. Humans and creatures together are unstoppable. We have taken the first step toward winning this war. The colony can now breathe easier, knowing that the enemy is weaker and less confident." Luke, Anna, and Ben returned with the creatures, bringing news of the victory. The people cheered as the creatures roared, proud of the humans they protected. The bond was not just for battle, it was trust, respect, and unity. The enemy would return, but the humans had learned something important. They had the creatures, they had each other, and they had courage. The colony had survived the attack and gained hope. With humans and their creatures together, no enemy could destroy them. The stars had heard their plea, and the creatures had answered, bringing power, protection, strength to those who needed it most. The colony was calm for a moment, but Queen Eliza knew the enemy would not stay quiet. She received urgent news that a human traitor had leaked information. The enemy knew their defenses and planned a surprise attack. She called Luke, Anna, and Ben. "We move now," she said. "The colony must survive." Luke led his creature to the walls, checking positions and calling squads. Anna repaired weapons and set traps for the enemy. Ben guided people to hidden tunnels and escape routes. Creatures stood ready, sensing the tension. The enemy arrived swiftly. Machines moved like a storm, aiming to crush the colony. Humans and creatures attacked together. The creatures used their size and strength to block enemy machines while humans attacked soldiers. The battle was intense and close. Queen Eliza coordinated the defense from the tower. She gave orders calmly, even as explosions shook the ground. Humans moved quickly, using every advantage. The creatures reacted instantly to commands, smashing enemy machines and protecting humans. Luke faced enemy champions in direct combat. His creature smashed through the enemy's heavy machines, clearing space for Luke to fight. Anna moved along the walls, helping injured humans and repairing critical defenses. Ben intercepted enemy squads, leading them into traps set by Queen Eliza. The traitor was discovered inside the colony. Humans captured him while the creatures kept enemy soldiers away. Queen Eliza confronted him. "Why did you betray us?" she asked. He did not answer. The humans tied him and kept him safe for questioning after the battle. The fight grew fiercer. Enemy was strong, but humans and creatures fought as one. Creatures blocked attacks and crushed enemy machines, giving humans openings to strike. The humans used speed and strategy to hit weak points and protect their people. A group of enemy soldiers tried to escape through the tunnels. Ben led a team of humans and creatures to intercept. The battle was quick and deadly. The enemy was trapped and defeated. The colony began to push the enemy back. Creatures roared and humans shouted commands. The enemy was forced to retreat. Humans had defended their homes successfully. Queen Eliza looked over the battlefield. Humans and creatures had survived together, stronger than ever. Luke returned to the colony center, exhausted but proud. Anna followed, carrying supplies and helping wounded humans. Ben checked the perimeter, ensuring no enemy remained. The creatures rested, but stayed alert, ready for the next attack. Queen Eliza addressed the survivors. "Humans and creatures together are stronger than fear," she said. "The bond between them is our power. The enemy knows now that the colony cannot be broken. Humans fight with courage, and their creatures fight for them. Stars have heard our plea, and the creatures protect us. We will survive and win this war." The people of the colony felt hope. They had seen betrayal, danger, and near defeat, but together they had survived. Humans and creatures had proven themselves unstoppable when united. The stars had sent them guardians, and the colony was ready for whatever came next. The enemy gathered all their forces for a final assault. Queen Eliza knew this would be the most dangerous battle. She called all humans and creatures to the walls. "We fight together," she shouted. "We survive together." Anna and Ben mounted their creatures. Humans lined the walls with weapons ready. The ground shook as the enemy advanced, massive machines and soldiers moving with deadly speed. The creatures roared, their presence striking fear into the enemy. Queen Eliza coordinated the defense. Humans and creatures moved as one. The creatures smashed enemy machines, their strength unmatched. Humans attacked with precision, exploiting every opening. The battle was fierce. Explosions rocked the walls, and humans and creatures fought bravely. Luke led a squad to take down the enemy's main weapon. He rode his creature straight into the center of the enemy line. The enemy tried to stop him, but the creature was too fast and powerful. Luke disabled the weapon, causing chaos among the enemy forces. Anna and her creature moved through the battlefield, helping wounded humans and blocking enemy soldiers from reaching the colony. She repaired damaged defenses while fighting, never stopping. Ben led a team to flank the enemy, cutting off reinforcements and trapping them between creatures and human squads. The creatures fought with intelligence and strategy. They blocked enemy retreats and crushed vehicles while humans directed attacks. Together they moved like a single unstoppable force. Humans shouted commands, and the creatures responded instantly. Luke faced the enemy commander again. They fought hand to hand. Creatures slammed into enemy machines, giving Luke openings to strike. Finally, the commander fell. The humans and creatures had won another crucial victory. The battle raged for hours. Humans and creatures were injured and tired, but they never gave up. The enemy began to retreat, broken and defeated. Queen Elisa watched from the tower, relief in her eyes. The colony had survived the final assault. Humans cheered and creatures roared in triumph. Luke, Anna, and Ben helped humans recover and secure the walls. Queen Eliza addressed the colony. "We survived because we fought together. Humans and creatures are stronger than any enemy. The stars sent us guardians, and they proved their power. The colony is safe." The people looked at the stars, grateful for the creatures who had come to protect them. The humans had learned the strength of unity and courage. Humans and their creatures had become unstoppable. The colony had survived and would thrive, ready for any challenge that came next. Queen Eliza smiled at Luke, Anna, and Ben. "Together, we are more than strong," she said. "Humans and creatures will defend this colony forever. The stars heard our plea and sent us guardians. We are not alone. The future is ours." As the sun rose, the colony began rebuilding. Humans and creatures worked side by side. The bond between them was stronger than ever. The enemy was gone, but humans and their creatures stayed vigilant. They knew the stars had chosen them for a reason. They were ready for anything, united and unbroken. Survival was only the beginning, and the colony would rise stronger than ever.